Hi, my name is Mel for RYO Premium. It's a advanced premium cigar roller. It's next generation beyond the Lieberman machines that is used throughout the world. The Lieberman machines is a machine that torcedores use to, or bancheros use to roll high-end premium cigars, long filler. So this is a portable model. This is, we build it here in Minnesota. This is all oxidized aluminum, heavy duty handle, and this is the belt adjustment rods that adjust the belt. So the longer belt was a bigger, fatter cigar, shorter belt, a smaller cigar. And this is the fine adjustment. If you really want to get close with your ring gauge, you move this back and forth just a little bit. It's all have bushings, long wear. This is also a aluminum rolling surface, especially coated to grip onto this rolling belt. So you start by adjusting your ring gauge that you want. I would suggest not changing your ring gauge very often. It's more important to perfect your style and the draw before you start switching ring gauges around. Buy a cigar or use whatever you have. Put it in the pocket in the back and bring up the rolling lever and just bring it over the top of the edge. So the belt should all be tight at that point. So you adjust the belt based on having this all nice and tight and the cigar with the ring gauge that you're looking for. Let's get started. Have on hand cigar glue. I'm using gum tragacanth. You can use gum arabic. You can use pectin. There's a lot of other things you can do this. It doesn't have any flavor in the cigar at all. That's what they use vegetable gum on virtually every cigar in the world. A little bit to stop it from unraveling at the head end. Okay? Now you're ready to start rolling. So you take a binder leaf and put it right into the pocket here. Okay, and then you take your bunch, put it right on top of that binder leaf, stick it right down in the pocket. Now at this point you can kind of feel if your cigar is a little bit skinny, or if it's too fat, you'll know because you start bringing up the handle. Okay, now this little edge here start the initial pack, so you want to make sure your cigar is all tucked in there good, and then you start pulling it over. A lot of times you'll have to just take your other hand and just kind of give it a little bit of pressure, bring it up. So it's starting to roll right now. Okay, now with one hand you can pack it down. You see where the hand can go over the top? You can kind of pack it in a little bit depending on what your draw is like. So you're packing. You can just rotate as it's going. You see it's going right down this binder leaf. So you can kind of, it's kind of nice because the handle stays put. You can take a break or take a sip of wine or whatever you're going to do and roll it. Okay. Again, every quarter turn or so, kind of pack it in there. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to put in a little bit of cigar glue. Just put a little right on the leading edge, right here. That'll harden. It'll make glue, and then it'll actually make that so that the cigar won't come unrolled. So you just keep on going until that binder leaf is all on your cigar. So your cigar is right in here. Now at this point, I recommend you start your next bunch, because this acts as a cigar mold. You don't have to buy all kinds of those expensive cigar molds. This will actually do it for you. And by pressing down, it actually takes some of the tension off the binder leaf. So right now the leaves are starting to take a set. In engineering terms they call it memory effect. So if you squeeze it long enough and hold it long enough, it remembers where it's at and it'll stay in that shape. So I'll start making my next cigar and then pull it just a little farther forward. That takes that seam and rolls it inside so that it makes much more rounder cigar. So I will start my next cigar while it's still in here. Again, fold, grip, and if it's a really long leaf, you can just tear it off and again fold. Make sure it's folded up in there good. It's those little air channels that are so important. I'm making my next leaf while this is set. So I'm going to take a little bit of break. All you got to do then, now let's say it's set full, I'll just bring it a little farther forward, and then that'll roll that seam inside too. It'll press, it's pressing, it's actually taking a set. So by the time you get the next leaf, the next bunch, ready to roll, your first cigar is already molded. It'll actually stay put. It doesn't require all the time to be in a mold. But if you want to use a mold, you're certainly welcome to. This gives you the option to use a mold as well. There, see, it makes a nice cigar. Now this one feels a little light yet, and you'll get used to this after a while. It's not that difficult. Because after it dries, that's when all the moisture goes out of there, and then you can tell you're going to start smoking it actually. Okay, so I'm going to bring it a little farther forward one more time, and this looks just about right. Got it ready for another one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull forward and I'm going to drop this one out. There's your cigar. I could use a little longer binder leaf, use up some of this. Looks like it stops about there. So this is the end you want to smoke, so I'll usually cut that, find out about where the end is, and just cut it off at an angle. Now, if you want to test your cigar, just take a puff on it and check your draw. This one's a little light, so I put more leaf in this one. That's a way you can adjust it. In fact, I could just take that cigar back off, put it back in, put another leaf in, and I might do that in a second here. So I'll try another one. This one's again the vein side up. Take your cigar, take your bunch and put it right down in the pocket and start bringing it forward. Again, use one hand to hold the handle. See, now I'm feeling more pressure on it, so it's packing tighter. And again, I'll push it down a little bit, make sure it's packed a little tighter, and then keep on bringing it forward. So this is rolling the binder leaf around the bunch. Get to the top again, put a little bit of cigar glue on it. And you can use more cigar glue. You can even use flavor glue if you want to. Put a little flavorant in there. Pull it down until the binder leaf gets on the cigar and press again. You can actually feel if there are any lumps on it. You can actually press them out. Going down again. There. Okay, we're going to let that set. It's kind of like a cigar mold again. What I might do, instead of starting another one, so if you start off and you make a mistake, let's say, oh, it's a little too easy of a draw, it's pretty easy just to pull off your binder, like so. Since you already have a bunch and you know the draw is too light, you can take another leaf, fold it, put it inside. So I'm going to make this one a little more firm of a draw. I'm going to try one of these guys. Oops, that was my binder. See how I'm making, kind of folding these? Okay, I'm going to bring it forward a little farther. that takes the seam and put it in there so that it rounds it out. Now I can feel it's much firmer than the first one I made. So then we're going to bring it down, keep pressing it, and this will all happen very fast. So I'm going to drop it out. You see it's much more firm of a cigar. Now I usually test them. Much better. In fact, it might be just a little too tight. I think it's good though. A little slower smoke. Alright, going back again. Grab another binder leaf. So this one this is the first cigar I rolled, and I'm squeezing it a little tighter. I'm going to make just a little bit heavier of a pack, which means it's going to draw a little bit more firm. Again, bring the handle up. Kind of make sure it's down in there. There it goes. You can use on the center of the handle, you can use on the sides. And put a little cigar lube on. In fact, I'll put it right down to here. Again, go down until the binder leaf is in, and you're comfortable with that pack. See, this one might be a little tighter than the last one. It's a good idea on your blend recipe to put down how many half leaves to put. Like if I put 3 half leaves, 2 half leaves, 1 and 1. That way you get about the same each time. So it's good to have consistency, unless you want to check it and then make your modification, make your changes. Right now it's again being molded. So when you're ready to, when you leave that one in there, you find out where the end of the cigar is, you cut it off. This end is your smoke end. Yeah, that's a good draw. Okay, thank you very much. This is the RYO Premium. Comes in 3 different kinds. We're a small cottage industry here in Minnesota, and these guys are built to last. It took over 3 years to develop this, and it's an improvement over a lot of the other methods to roll cigars. It'll speed up your rolling. If you like taking your time with hand, that's fine too. But this will definitely speed up your process, and it'll make a more quality cigar than you can do with your fingers. Your fingers get sore after a while. This one doesn't. Since the handle stays in one location, you can take a break and do something else if you want to. So it acts as its own mold as well. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you can roll the best cigars in the world with this. Your trick is going to be in the the binder and the wrapper for flavor, and the filler for the good burn characteristics and the complex flavors. You find after a period of time that cigar smoking is kind of like eating food. Good chefs will put a lot of different ingredients and spices into food. The human mouth kind of picks up which spices they like, so it kind of brings to the top better flavors. It's the same thing for cigars. The mouth will actually pick up a subtle hint of something that's in there. It only may be one leaf, but that's what will cause the enjoyment of it. It'll pick up that little flavor. Thank you very much, and I hope you visit our site, and happy cigar rolling. Thank you very much for listening.